What's up, guys? Welcome back to Price to Sell. We're gonna have another amazing episode for you. This time in Miami. We're not in Miami, clearly, right now. Definitely not. Wish I was. But we spoke to the Killian Grondin. He's a realtor in Miami. He actually helped me purchase my house in Fort Lauderdale. Specializes in Airbnb. We did the podcast in the villa that we actually toured on the field trip, which you guys will also be able to see. It's a full house tour of an insane villa that pulls in crazy cash flow on the short-term rental space. And so we speak all about that. So you guys get to learn about all things Miami, Florida, short-term rental market there. That's what he specializes in. And before we get into the episode, the merch, guys, the hats. We got the white and the red baseball caps. Hashtag I sell real estate. Not too many left, so get your hands on them while you can. And then we also have the white-black t-shirts, the white and black sweaters with our branding. This is a limited drop. We're only doing this for the first one. After that, we're gonna launch new stuff. So if you guys haven't got your hands on it, get them. They are doing really well right now, and I just wanna see you guys walking the streets of Toronto wearing it, and I would, nothing would make me happier. So other than that, hope you guys enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Price to Sell podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli, and we are in Florida again for another special Florida edition, Miami edition, Hallandale specifically today. Yep. But I'm here with the agent and realtor that actually helped me get my house in Florida, and a lot of people have had interest in my process, and he's the one who showed me the potential down here, the numbers, everything. So we have Mr. Killian Grondin in the house here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for helping me.
Yeah. Cool little setup here.
Yeah, so this is one of their properties, Luxury International, right?
Yep.
That's your brokerage?
Yep, that's my brokerage, and then it's Luxury Rentals for the short-term side, which is where we're at. Which is awesome, and these are all just under the portfolio of the short-term rental homes that are available. Correct. This is a 6,000 square foot home? 6,500
square
feet.
It's wild. Wild.
It is.
So let's tell everyone about who you are, man. Like how you got into the game.
Yeah. So currently 26. It's been about 3.5, 4 years in the real estate game. Before real estate, I was going to school. Ended up going for about 4 months. Just couldn't get along with the people there and the movement. Ended up dropping out about 4
Where
months
was this?
in University of South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I lived at the moment. And, dropped out, went to personal training because I was super big into body fitness back then. Realized that probably wasn't going to sustain the lifestyle I was trying to live or want to live. You can do as many clients as you want. It's just not going to count up. So I was actually cheerleading for most of my high school.
Can you do the splits?
Career, not the splits.
Okay.
But the backflips.
I would have made you test it already now.
No, the backflips and everything.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
So, as part of the big cheer world movement, went with my ex-girlfriend. She bought an RV, lived on the RV for 3-4 months out of the year, did tours to teach kids how to cheer.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was fun. And that's how I ended up in Florida. Because when I was living with her and her family at the time, I think I was 19 or so. She lived in Boca Raton, which is a little bit more north than here. Yep. And saw the blue waters and the way people were living here, the palm trees, and decided, you know what, I need to go back home, save as much as I can, and get down here sometime. So ended up getting in real estate once I stopped cheerleading, got a little bit too old. My body started hurting.
I can see that, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, just was always like into the whole HGTV thing. I was like, I want to flip houses one day. It looks easy and they make a lot of money. Got my license in South Carolina and then transferred it to Georgia. Did real estate there for about a year and a half or two. Not a good start, to be honest. Yeah, it was really hard to get leads in a city that I wasn't from.
True.
Had no idea what I was doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Didn't start out on a team, which was probably a bad thing to start out in real estate. I think being on a team is super important at first to get the basics and at least like be handheld if
Agreed.
you don't hire a mentor or have someone in the office.
Agreed.
Yeah, and so yes, did that for a year and a half. I think took me 4.5 months, 5 months to sell my first house.
Okay.
The team split was so bad that I think I got $1,000 on a $340 something
So
house.
talking like lower price points.
Yeah, definitely
sure.
lower price points at that time. Yeah, didn't do rentals because in Atlanta that's not really a thing. You got like $200-300 even for a full house rental.
A month.
Say it again.
$200-300 a month.
No, you $200-300 check.
And okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was hard to live off that too.
I was gonna say I'm renting 5 homes in Atlanta right now.
Unless you're just banging out rentals, it was super hard to keep up with and live. So saved up, moved to Florida, started working for a hedge fund where I broke down the numbers on properties that needed to be flipped and cleaned up. We would purchase those properties all cash. They were in Atlanta though. I was living in Florida. Run the numbers, make them long-term rentals that the hedge fund held for their portfolio. I liked it. It was good, but it was just too much desk time.
True.
All day, all night. Like sometimes we'd have leads come in and it would just be 100 leads for houses to buy. Anything and you'd have to do it right at the moment.
Wow.
To get the house because we wanted to be the first person to put the all-cash offer.
Yeah.
And we do full price every
Are
time.
these on market or off market?
On market.
On market?
As soon as it hit the MLS.
True.
Yep. Yeah, so kind of got over that after a while and tired of sitting inside on the computer and decided to get my Florida license and then start just doing basic sales.
Is it hard to, like, from your Georgia, South Carolina?
Yeah.
Like, having licenses there, is it hard to transition to get a license in Florida after?
So I think it's called a reciprocity,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, where you can just transfer your license over to the next state.
So easy.
I did that from South Carolina to Georgia.
Okay.
But since I did it that one time, you can't do it a second time.
I see.
So I had to retake my test,
Okay.
which took me 3 times to pass.
It happens.
No one asks you how
Yeah.
many times you took the test. So.
Yeah, right. I failed a couple too. It happens. We are humans. I don't like to study, so
Yeah, studying this whole school thing is not my thing. I
Yeah.
have to learn, like, in person, go out there and do it, fail,
yeah,
and then understand through the process. you
Yeah.
know, instead of just memorizing stuff off paper.
yeah. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So now you're in Florida, Miami, selling here. How long have you been doing that?
It's been about 2 years now.
Nice.
Yep.
And what brought you to the short-term game?
Studying YouTube videos.
Cool.
And I was just trying to learn as much as I could about the Florida market and about real estate investing so that if someone ever asked me a question, I was able to give them a clear answer without having to say, oh, I need to check on that and then get back to you.
Yeah.
Found some guys that were doing Airbnbs, and honestly, I saw the profits that they were making and thought that it was probably a scam.
Yeah,
Never
right?
signed up for the courses that they
seems
sell
ridiculous.
or anything. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, ended up selling some homes, getting some commission checks, saved up, lived with my parents, ended up buying a house in Design District.
It's gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what got me intrigued.
Yeah.
He showed me his numbers in his house.
Yep.
And just what it was pulling in, and it's just like, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, no brainer for sure. If you have the capital to put down, it's no question. So yeah, and then saved up for the down payment, purchased the house. At first, the plan was to house hack. So 3-bedroom, 3 baths. I had found 2 roommates from Instagram through friends, and then they were paying $1,500 each, and my overhead cost was $2,900 with everything. So I was making like $100 a month and living for free out of my parents' place.
Yeah, house hack, the classic house hack.
Yeah, that's the basics of house hacking.
Yeah.
And so as I'm watching the videos, I end up just one of the roommates was moving out. So then I was struggling finding someone else at the time. And I just said, this might be the chance to pull the trigger and try to Airbnb. So told all my friends, everyone told me, no, don't do it. What if you can't make enough to cover the payments, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, screw it. I'm going to go live with my parents again, take the chance, cleaned up the house, made it ready for Airbnb and short-term rentals. And, the the first day I went back to my parents, I was sitting in bed. It's probably 4 hours into the first day, and I put the listing up that day and got a booking within like 3 or 4 hours. That was $2,300, and my mortgage was $2,900, and I think the booking was like 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, if I can get at least one more,
Yeah.
then I'll be able to cover the mortgage and make more than what I would have made with 3 people in there for a long-term rental.
Yeah.
Second day, another $2,100 or whatever the number was at the time. I'm like, okay, $1,000 profit. And then just kept booking. And once the reviews started going, that 3-bedroom house started generating anywhere from $8,000 to $11,000 a month. Consistently all
That's
year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was crazy. It was a little slow at first, getting the reviews together and everything. People have to trust the property.
Yeah.
But once it started clicking, it was just a snowball effect, basically.
Yeah.
It's basically like a full year salary for someone, and you don't see the house ever.
Yeah, it's wild.
Crazy.
It's hard to believe sometimes until you experience it, and like I've experienced it back home. I cannot wait to get mine going.
Yeah.
Down here too. Just hearing the numbers, like let's talk about this one first for a second. This one we're in. This one does what? Like you guys will see it on when we do the house tour. But for those that don't watch the house tour, I don't know why you wouldn't, for starters. But for those that don't, what are the numbers like on this house?
So this is a 6-bedroom, 6-bath, like you said, 6,500 square feet. It sleeps 12 people max. It's in Hollandale, and low season, you're looking about 2,500 during the weekdays per night, 3,500 for weekends per night. And then during high season, which is when we see that most people are traveling, we're getting about 3,500 a night for weekdays, and then 5,000 a night for weekends.
I could just shake my head.
Yeah,
that's all I can do.
Festivals like Ultra, Rolling Loud, Bitcoin conventions, anything of that sort, we count as a festival, and or holidays are 6,000 a night here, and they get booked all the time.
A night.
Yeah.
We're struggling, like we think $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Is good back home for like a 2-bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just like.
It was a funny time when I first started with this company. I'd only been running my Airbnb for about a month.
Okay.
And then one of the guys on the team, he's a little bit younger than me actually, and he works alongside my boss for luxury rentals. I saw his post on Instagram, I think, or something of that sort. I just reached out to him and said, hey man, like, this brokerage looks like it's the type of brokerage I want to be with. You guys, have the look, the style, the aesthetics. I was tired of the normal brokerage deal, older people in there with the small mindset.
Yeah.
No one's on social media, anything. And I'm like, these guys are really pushing beautiful house tours, which is one of the reasons I moved to Florida in the first place for real estate. I also thought it's a much more eye appealing.
Yes.
So if I'm starting in a new city again, at least I have houses and scenes that are pretty to people's eye that bring them in.
Yeah.
I had just started my short term, got with the brokerage, and then luxury rentals is who put me on to short term rentals.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And really how to move through the process of buying one, how to speak to investors about them, how to control the people coming in and out, and the whole process.
Yeah. And just to talk about lead gen for a sec, he cold DM'd me.
Yeah.
Cold DM. Okay. And I was just, how would you to pique my interest? I'm a realtor, okay?
What piqued your interest?
Yes, I think you sent me something, some sort of numbers or.
Yeah, so I was sitting at the house January, so 6 months ago. And I was like, I'm just not doing it enough right now. Let me send out our spreadsheet of our 54 homes, because that's what we have in the portfolio. And let me send them out to realtors in different states and different areas, see if maybe they have people that are traveling to Miami, since it was a hot spot during COVID.
For sure, definitely.
Everyone wanted to be here because it was so open.
Yep.
It was like Miami wasn't closed at all, like people running everything. And I just started getting bites from everyone. They're like, oh, I'll send my clients to you for sure when they need a short-term stay. And then I started realizing, since I'm sending it to realtors, I need to add at the bottom as well that they can pitch this to their investors and their clients. So reached out to you, let you know at the bottom, hey, these are the numbers that we're pulling in. If you have someone that's interested of going out of state and looking to invest in the South Florida area, can kind of give you the runaround on how everything works and how we property manage for the clients. The golden circle.
The golden circle.
Yeah. And so then I think you said you were going to contact me, and then you didn't for like 4 months or something.
Yeah, I'm a hard
3
to get
months,
guy.
and then one day just randomly you were like, hey man, hop on a call.
Yeah. Well, when I'm ready, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know, I'm definitely not a tire kicker because like I personally don't like that myself. Okay, guys, don't a tire kick out there.
Yeah.
If you want to kick a tire, go kick an actual tire.
I used to have this saying that was like, buyers are liars.
Yeah.
Because they just run you around if you have too many bad ones.
No, it's true. It's true. But I mean, like, if you can't buy, just don't do it. Wait.
Yeah.
And then, but like, you know, time, like, everyone's time is valuable, especially us.
Can't be scared.
No, exactly. That's
like,
it.
Everyone thinks it's super easy for the purchasing process, and then they start having the lender ask them for all these files, and then you have people around my age who don't even know where to find those papers or documents to be able to give it to the lender.
Yeah.
And I think it scares them. You know,
For sure.
It's a lot. And then you start thinking, people around my age start thinking, oh, I don't want to be locked down. And that was one of my main things for purchasing my house. I was like, do I really want to live in Miami for the rest of my life? But that's really not the case. I mean, if you're tired of living there, just rent the property.
Yeah.
Move on.
That's it.
Like, my plan is to have different properties in different states.
Smart.
Maybe countries. And then, you know, those are generating all the money that you need to live. And while you're doing that, you can also bounce around your own houses across the country. And
that's one of my visions too, man. Just internationally, just owning really cool properties and really cool destinations, and having that flexibility to just travel. I want to go to Greece for 2 weeks, right? You have a spot to stay at. But on the other hand, when you're not there, it's a cash cow.
Yeah.
And through the short-term game, this whole vacation rental game, it's become so popular for many, like, you know, hotels are still doing well, but people like the trendiness of a property like this, which you can't replicate this in a hotel.
Yeah, the hotels hate it, though.
Hotels definitely hate it.
Like in Miami Beach, you cannot short-term there.
Yeah,
it's
and
illegal
South Beach.
because the hotel chains obviously are, their money's being taken from them.
So let's talk about some spots in Florida that are good for short-term.
Sure. So good spots to short-term would be Hollandale, Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, specifically Las Olas area, which is a bit more pricey to get into, but if you can, it's definitely worth the extra money.
Yeah.
Design District, which is more South Miami. You have Coral Gables, which is A+ schools, hedge fund owners, large companies are moving there. So you have a lot of people with big businesses that are moving their whole headquarters down that need places to stay for 3-6 months to figure out where they're going to buy during that time, or where they're going to rent figure out the area and get in with their new job. Coral Gables, you have to pick pockets there though, and then you have Brickell. There's only a handful of buildings where you can short-term in Brickell. But if you can get into one, which is usually quite difficult, because people like to hold on to them once they see they're making 30% return or whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
So you got to move fast if you're going to move in the city. And that's pretty much top 5 places in South Florida.
Okay, good info. You're welcome, everybody. And I know, like, I hear this a lot too. Some people are like, how can you stay consistently booked? Like, are people really traveling that often? What's the type of demographic that are entering these homes? Whether it's like family, tourists, people out of state, in-state, different countries.
So as for the home being booked, South Florida, it's always going to be a travel destination. I feel like obviously there's clear blue water everywhere, palm trees, people just like it, big clubs, you know, the celebrity names, the boats. So it's pretty much year round. There are slow seasons through certain months because obviously in the winter we have the snowbirds from cold places like Toronto where they want to escape.
Definitely want to escape.
Escape the cold. And then the clientele I mean, it can really be all over. It can be, we've had TikTokers here that are
It drops.
18 years old. I don't know the TikTokers' names exactly.
But you did not mention some names before.
Yeah, but
so
we have
this
like
specifically.
We do a lot of music videos. DaBaby, DJ Khaled, the McBrooms have stayed here. Jake Paul, Alesso. Pretty much every person you can think of at least uses one of our houses one of the times that they come to South Florida.
Cool. And that's an example. You think like, okay, here these celebrities ultra money.
Yeah.
You know, they got deeper pockets. Why would they rent an Airbnb when they can just own a property, especially like you know, right? But I mean,
they don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Owning the property, it's just they're making $250,000 on the stage.
Yeah.
50,000 for the week. They're like, whatever. And my friends. And
yeah, and another insight too. That people are like, how can you charge $3,000 to $6,000 a night?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to spend that? But you got to think, you know, break it down a little bit. You're able to sleep 12.
Yep.
Right. So if you're doing $6,000 a night, 12 people, that's $500 a person.
Yeah.
Right.
The entourage can stay.
Yeah. So it's really not that bad, especially if you want to do like a weekend here, $1,500 for 3 nights each to stay in an ultra luxe spot like this. It's not that bad, and to get that experience, you're right on the water, mind you, right? So like this isn't just like that's pretty good, but yeah, as the owner, you're getting that $6,000 a night, you know. So
and you were telling me earlier that you know, at the Fountain Blue it was pretty hefty.
Yeah,
and when you compare
it's just a
it's
king bed.
It's actually double.
It really is. I would rather stay here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then a lot of the artists and the celebs, hedge fund owners, tech guys that come down here, they want the full package. So like I was telling you earlier, for example, if we were the ones to come to this property, most of the time if they're doing the whole Rolling Loud or any of the festivals, they want the cars with it. So we have the cars either ready at the airport or at the private jet for them to get into right away, or we drop them off here for them so that once whoever takes them here, the driver, whoever it is, they have the keys.
Yeah.
It's ready to go. Any exotic you want, Sprinter van, the boat.
Yeah.
You know, ready in the back. Like I was telling you, we'll fill the fridge up for you. Any request.
They got a Don Perignon on the counter right there waiting for the next person.
Massage therapist, anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's hospitality. That's what it is. It's a hospitality business.
Concierge.
When you're purchasing too, you want to buy in. You got to think with the hospitality mindset. You want to buy near attractions.
Yep.
Like what? So let's talk about that. Like, what are some good when purchasing? Let's say you find a legal area that's allowed. Now, what's going to make your house do well consistently? Where do you want to situate it around?
Yeah, I mean, location's always going to be number one because you don't have to have a house this big to make decent profits. You know, an average person can get into the short-term rental game with $35,000, $50,000 ready to go to put for a down payment. If that 3-bedroom house,
as an American,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
because as
you
a
guys
Canadian,
have to put 20 or 30,
20 to 30% as a Canadian.
Yeah, but we can get away with 5% sometimes.
So I'll just become American quickly. Okay, cool. I'm American now officially.
So yeah, 50,000, you go buy a small house. Even if it's not super modern, just slowly renovate it as your profits come in. Eventually, you'll have a very clean house.
Yep.
And as long as it's really close to some body of water, shopping center, tourism attractions like Wynwood to go see the graffiti walls and eat around the restaurants, you're going to do well. Because people sometimes enjoy being in the center of everything with less of a house than being in a large house like this and being 20, 30 minutes away from something. So I would say location's one. The aesthetics of your home, the way you design it's very important. You see people painting crazy wall colors, red couches, this and that, you know. Having a theme is super important in Airbnb. It can be some of our houses is like a Buddha theme. It's like all very relaxed, light woods. Buddhas are hanging around the pool, you know.
Yeah.
And someone might want that, and then we might have a house that's for bachelorette parties that's light pink colors inside, you know. So it depends which route you want to go with. The bachelorette party is a great route to go with. Everyone has,
and it's consistent.
A lot of people have bachelorettes.
See, now again, I'm gonna just talk for like the person out there who's thinking right now, because I know you are. What how consistent can that be with bachelorette parties?
Every weekend.
Right?
All the time.
That's insane.
Like the boat rentals, it's one after the other.
Really?
Bachelorette parties, yeah.
How about bachelor parties?
I don't know. I haven't seen many of those.
Well, we're gonna target the bachelorette market.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like we talked earlier too. Like my house, we're doing it's called Villa Vuitton.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We're gonna do, and I mean, he's the one who helped me get it, so I'm sure you're excited to see how it's gonna turn out. But
sure.
It's gonna be subtle, but enough where someone can go and snap a picture for Instagram. Right? We're gonna have things like that. We're gonna have pool tables there. We're gonna have ping pong tables. We're like adding sand in the backyard. Like really cool vibes. He did stress when I bought it, I need a pool. Yeah. I don't have a pool yet.
You don't need
put
it.
one in.
Just helps.
It just helps per night.
Helps you, the occupancy rate go up.
And the monthly returns.
Like you've seen, it's really hot.
It's hot.
It's hard to sit outside without a body of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially during the summer. But yeah, back to your thing about the Louis Vuitton prints and everything around the house. It's also pretty important to have somewhere that's somewhat Instagrammable. You can have like, I don't know, I've seen people do in their backyard, like on a fence or on a rock wall where they have the wings painted.
Yes.
And then the girls or whoever it is, guys, can stand there and take a picture.
I've done wing photos. You know, I've done it.
If we'll see, you've done wing photos?
No, I haven't. I just wanted to, if any guys are out there and done it, trying to make them feel like they're not alone, but you are. Sorry.
Yeah, and so then in our like guidebook, we'll ask them, hey, if you take any photos in the property, we'd love for you to tag the Instagram handle for the rental company.
Smart.
That's a way for us to get organic traffic, or people be able to then see that, oh, hey, maybe they have some other properties cheaper and more expensive that I can book out for my event later down the road in Miami.
Yeah. And you guys have your own booking system, your own platform, right?
Not our own platform.
Okay.
We generate leads on our own, the company does, and then the Rolodex of clients that have came back or came in the past that we will retarget and say, you know.
And do you find there's a lot of repeat business?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Depending on how the stay goes.
Yes, of course.
If they're leaving a 5-star review, if they were excited, they felt the concierge top-notch service, they will come back. Because why go anywhere else and risk not having that?
It's true. You know? Unless they're throwing spaghetti on the walls.
Right. Yeah. We did have that situation.
And you can hear all about that if you watch the field trip.
Right.
We'll leave that for that.
So, yeah. You want to go into numbers?
Yeah, so we touched upon this briefly earlier. Yeah. But this house, let's just jump right to what it can cash flow annually.
Annually, you're looking at, we average it out by the year.
Okay.
Because some, like December, January, those high months, you're going to do double almost during those months. So we like to just average it out, and that would be around anywhere from 360 to 410K a year.
Cash flow. Net. Minus your expenses.
But gross, then minus expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Which is about half.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's still insane.
Yeah.
Off one property.
Because did we say this was the overhead for this? Did we give that breakdown?
Maybe. Let's rerun it. So overhead on this one?
Yeah, so about anywhere between $35,000 and $38,000 a month. We just cap it at 40 to say. And then, like I was telling you, 60 or 70% occupancy usually. That's 21 days. Even if we take our lowest number, which is $3,000 a night, we're looking at about $65,000 or something of that sort. So yeah, you're
still double your carrying costs.
$24,000, $30,000 a month.
That's insane.
After the carrying costs.
Yeah, still wild.
And then we list the properties as well on the MLS. 6-month rentals, $75,000 a month.
Yeah.
For each month, or you can do a year rental if you want.
And that's people are paying that.
Yeah.
Out here
all the time.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, we have people spending $200K a month.
That's wild.
On a house.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I know.
That's so okay. Let's talk. So these are the higher end. These are the luxury ones. This is a $6 million home, right?
Yep.
For the person out there who's maybe trying to get in the market, what is like the entry level price point to acquire something that's good and going to work in the areas that work?
In entry level in South Florida.
Yep.
Okay, so in South Florida, well, it depends if you're going to redo the property before getting someone in there. But let's just say you want it turnkey.
Okay,
in a
let's
decent
go
area,
turnkey,
right?
Yep.
So you don't have to do anything or put more money out there. You're going to be looking at 600, 650 to get something decent that people will actually rent and feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
But the real sweet spot is going to be right around 750 for something decently modern, clean lines, aesthetically pleasing when they're on the Airbnb or whatever site they're using.
Yeah, so 750 USD, that's about
USD,
18 million Canadian. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's totally kidding. You know what? In our tour earlier, I said that, oh, this is a really nice washroom. And he looked at me and he's like, washroom? What's a washroom? Yeah, so bathroom is correct. I was corrected instantly.
Restroom,
Canadians and our words. So what would a property like that, so let's just use the 651 as an example, entry level. What would something like that generate on average monthly?
So at 650, you're most likely looking at a 3.2, possibly a 4.3. Without a pool, you're most likely going to be looking for a 3.2, looking at 300 to 400 maybe max a night during normal season. Again, we're just averaging out, not like Christmases and all that. Christmas, you might get 600 a night. So yeah, I mean, at 650, you're looking at a mortgage payment of right under 4,000, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, like 3,600 or so, and you only need a week booking or so to be able to cover your mortgage. And a property like that can make $8,000 to $10,000 a month, obviously minus your mortgage.
Yeah, still.
There's no expenses though, other than furnishing the property.
Yeah,
because a lot of people get the misconcept. Oh, well, taxes, the cleanings and all that. Well, the cleanings are part of the fees.
Paid by the guest.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Some houses also do where they have pull-out couches.
Yeah.
Excuse me, or even an extra air mattress that they have in the house. And when their house says 6 people max, you can contact them and say, hey, would we be able to allow 8 people? If we have an air mattress, charge $100 per person.
Yeah.
That comes in the house. That's extra that you allow.
Exactly.
Which, if they're not like a hassle or not throwing a banger at your house, that's right there, 200 extra for each night. Yeah. Which can make a difference.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
That adds up. Yeah, maximizing the space is super important. Picking proper layouts, the furnishing, the design, all that will add up. And it's just, I think like these are one of these markets, and I'm sure there are many other states out there that can offer things like this. But back home in Toronto, we have some serious regulations which kind of hinder us, and just the average regular old-fashioned kind of rental where either you want to burr something or put a long-term tenant in there. Hearing these numbers, it kind of makes it hard to want to do that, right? Yeah. Especially once you experience it, like myself. Like, I mean, I might have the people out there like, oh, like, the old school way, multifamily, regular
safe,
rent,
no
safe.
Worries, yeah.
Okay, but again, hearing numbers like this, it's just, why not want to try? Yeah. Right.
And if you have good property management, you never see that property.
Yeah.
Ever. If you have plumbing, everything you need, you're good to go. You just let it cash flow. Also, if you are looking to sell the property after a while, you can also sell the house as an investment. Show the investors or buyers that this house does produce $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So then you're actually selling the property for $200K more than market value, because they're seeing that it's not just you're buying a single family home, you're buying a business.
And they're still going to cash flow.
Yeah, we'll give you the Airbnb link and everything, or the profile, and you're just ready to go. You just need management, unless you take our management.
Smart. Yeah, see, that adds a whole other layer and level to like the whole business, which I find like super fascinating, interesting. Now, just talking Miami market, how are you guys like year over year, like like increasing wise, equity, stuff like that? Like, how has it been here?
Doubled.
Okay.
Since COVID, basically.
True. So like a lot of markets.
Almost everything, yeah. Basically like all the other markets. It's been slowing down a little bit.
Like everywhere.
I think it's just first-time home buyers, though, really. People that are scared about the interest rates. Yeah. And it making their payments much higher per month. We had an issue with a lot of people falling out of contracts as well, because they hadn't locked in their rate. So a lot of contracts fell through because when they first got approved, it was at 3.5%.
Yeah.
And then it just went, bam, 2% up or whatever the number was at the time for them. And they weren't able to afford the house anymore.
Yeah, we're seeing similar things.
It was like a lot of contracts fell through.
Yeah.
And then that was actually a good time for our clients because then we swoop in, well, you were already under contract. You know, they're panicking, and now we can try and go a little bit under market value, which we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Or negotiate better.
I think you guys are still stronger than what we're experiencing. We've taken a bit of we've seen correcting already.
Yeah.
Significantly over the past couple of months. I think the attraction that Florida's brought, like, you know, being open and the weather, and I think COVID had people realize, like, oh, I can actually work from home or I can live somewhere else. Yep. So it's brought a lot of people here, a lot of Canadians too, who just want to be here full time. So I feel like that extra demand that's been like added in is keeping you guys pretty strong. Who knows what's going to happen over the next, 6 months to a year, 2 years, but
and
these
skyrocketing.
Rents are skyrocketing.
And remember that when you rent, it's 100% interest.
Yeah.
Basically, because you're not getting any of that money back. Even if your house takes a little bit of a hit and you lose some value in it, as long as you're not in the mindset to sell the property, there's no issue. You're still cash flowing.
Especially with the short term.
Still making money, and just hold until it goes back above the number that you want.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Like, as I mentioned earlier, these things fly by.
Yep.
So we are now at the end. I'm sad. Are you?
That's good. Pretty sad.
Are you sad?
I do have a gift for you, though.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What?
I'll give it to you.
What's this going to? Oh, okay. It's gift time. Let's do it. I like gifts. I'm a little nervous. I'm blushing a bit, I think. Oh my God, it's the Don P. That's hilarious. Thanks, man.
Congrats on the house.
Oh, thanks, dude. That's
I
so fun.
It's a very easy closing. That was my easiest client.
Well, I know, I understand how. Yeah. So, okay, I was asking about this Dom Perignon. I'm like, wow, you guys are really like, you guys really service your guests.
Yeah.
They come in, they walk in, they get a Dom P, and they're just playing it off the whole time. Like, yeah, if they're depending on the guest,
I was like, damn, he caught me for sure.
We'll put a Dom Perignon, but here it is. Now it's mine.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yep, I appreciate you.
So if you had any maybe piece of advice for anyone out there trying to get into the short-term game, what would it be?
To study on it as much as you can and learn the ins and outs. Learn your systems as much as possible, because you do not want to be running back and forth from property to property. That can take a lot of time, especially in Miami with traffic. Make sure your security cameras, your noise detectors are on point so you don't run into any party issues with guests.
And the rest you can ask us. You can ask us the rest, okay? That's it. Okay. Well, if anyone out there wanted to reach out, where can they find you?
At Killian Sells Miami.
Okay.
And the Miami is 2 I's at the end.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Nice. You trying to change the...
No, my account got hacked last December, so I lost like 60K followers.
No way.
Yeah, started fresh and was just like,
wow. I would shoot my foot.
I know.
That happened.
Sucks.
Well, to everyone out there, I'm not actually going to shoot my foot. But reach out to him. We're going to post all his links and everything in our stuff.
Yep.
And this is another international edition. Florida again. Amazing market. Hoping we brought you guys some value, different twist on things versus what you're used to hearing. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, your family, your grandmother, and your pet iguana, because I've seen a lot of iguanas. And we will see you on the next one.
I appreciate it.